Fruitcake. People either love it or they hate it. Berta Lou Scott says if you're a hater, you haven't tried hers.
The only thing I knew about fruitcake is a lot of people just didn't care for it. Oh, I don't like fruitcake. I don't like fruitcake. But I said, just try. And once they tried that cake, they changed their mind about liking fruitcake.
Berta is the founder of the Southern Supreme Fruitcake Company. The Bear Creek, North Carolina native says growing up, she wasn't exactly fond of it either.
My mom always cooked a lot of sweets at Christmas. She made her version of fruitcake, which I didn't care much for.
In the late 70s, Berta, a hairdresser at the time, decided to create her own fruitcake recipe.
I wanted to serve something to my customers at Christmas. I worked on a lot of recipes, and they liked it. More like a nut cake, they said.
Then in 1984, Berta's husband Hoyt lost his job, and she prayed for a way to make up the lost income.
And all of a sudden, it came to me about the fruitcake, because I made it for my customers in the beauty shop for so many years, and they just really bragged on it all the time. I thought about it, but I wasn't sure that was the right path to go, because so many people didn't like fruitcakes, and the Lord kept saying, make fruitcakes, make fruitcakes. And I decided that we was going to make fruitcakes.
And thus began the Southern Supreme Fruitcake Company. At first, Berta and her family made every cake by hand and sold them out of their living room. The cakes were so popular, she began taking them to Christmas shows throughout North Carolina. Eventually, demand was so high, they had to start using special equipment designed just for them.
Nobody had a business like ours. We was doing something different. Our cake is cooked and then stirred the whole time. It's cooked and then it's molded. That's the reason I think it stays so moist.
Fruitcake first appeared in ancient Rome and has taken many forms and names through the centuries. Stollen, Dundee cake, panettone to name a few. Its first association with the holidays came during medieval times, and carolers were treated to figgy pudding for their performance. By the early 1900s, giving fruitcake as a gift had become a tradition that continues today. In fact, every year, Berta's company delivers thousands of fruitcakes all over the world. Not to mention the other goodies she's come up with.
I came up with a lot of new products because we wanted to do the baskets. Kids say my mind never quits.
Even then, Berta says it took more than a delicious fruitcake to take them from a garage to the 40,000 square foot facility they occupy today. For starters, they've always been known for their hospitality, offering visitors generous samples to try for free.
My husband's the one who wanted to have the samples. I said, we can't afford to give all them samples away. Yeah, we're going to give them all the sample, he'd say.
She also points to their loyal customer base, and especially her family, who for 40 years have put their time and hearts into making the Southern Supreme Fruitcake Company a success, while overcoming the stigma of fruitcake in the process.
We've changed a lot of people's mind about fruitcake. It's been quite a journey, but we've enjoyed it.
All those things aside, Berta says the most important factor in their success is that God has always been in the details.
You have to ask Him, and He'll help you along the way. You can't do it without Him. I think it's very important to know that you can't handle a project without Lord being with you. I think it was God's plan. We've been really blessed. I tell you, we've been blessed. And I just tell them, the Lord told me to make cakes. And I did.